This is a Soul Hit production.
You have now tuned into Insight Sundays, the show that brings you relevant news, youth and political topics with a new direction and focus for our communities. Log in with Facebook and get connected. Here's your host, Adrian Mickens.
What's going on, Indianapolis, and welcome to another edition of Insight Sundays right here on AM 1310 The Light and Facebook Live. As always, we have to give a shout out to all of our sponsors, which are Andrew J. Brown Academy, Indiana Christian Leadership Conference or ICLC, Buttons and Bows Hair Salon, Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus, New Vision Lighthouse Ministries, Hair Artistry Indie, Inner Beauty Program Incorporated, New Breed of Youth, Lighthouse Academy Charter School South and East, Beach Grove Bible Church, Sam Ash Music Store, and remember, vote for William Benjamin for Sheriff of 2018. Remember, vote William Benjamin for Sheriff of 2018. Stay connected with us on all of our social media platforms, which is Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and of course, download our Insight Sundays mobile app on the App Store or Google Play Store. Once again, download the Insight Sundays mobile app on the App Store or Google Play Store. As always, Indianapolis, we have another spectacular show for you guys today. This week, we have Assistant Principal of George Buck Elementary, Kristy Jones, as she shares her life story and her newly written book, Positioned to Prosper. Let's check it out.
Today we are here at George Buck Elementary, and I'm here with the Assistant Principal, Kristy Jones. Hello, Kristy Jones.
Hi, AJ. How are you?
I'm pretty well. And yourself today?
I'm great.
All right. Well, pretty much today, I want to interview you about your rich history here in education as a whole, and how much you have grown and has prospered as an administrator, as a teacher, and then as a woman as a whole. I know that you have a great story to tell young ladies and women for that matter about how to stay strong and build themselves up through tough times. So what's your rich history starting off with education? How did you begin and what made you want to get started in education?
I wanted to get started in education because as a child, I had teachers who didn't always reach me the way I needed to be reached in order to learn the things that I needed to learn. Mm-hmm. And I thought that I had something that I would be able to contribute in helping our young people learn the things that they need to learn, not only in school, but in life in general. Mm-hmm. I remember my math teacher, Mr. Rice. Mm-hmm. He sparked my love for math. Mm-hmm. And so that's what pointed me in the direction of teaching math.
I know at one point in time, obviously, you were a teacher, and now you have went into the world of administrator here at George Buck and at a few other schools too as well. How was that transition, and which one do you say you've been the most impactful with?
So I taught, as you said, for 1 year at Lawrence North. That was my first year of teaching. And then I went on to North Central High School and taught for about 8 years. Mm-hmm. While in the classroom, I felt like I wanted to have a greater impact. Mm-hmm. And I felt in order to have a greater impact that I needed to move into the role of administrator. And mm-hmm. so I received that opportunity to become an administrator at Andrew J. Brown Academy. Mm-hmm. I was there for about 3 years. One of the biggest things I learned from moving from teacher to administrator is perspective. The perspective is totally different. As a teacher, I was concerned about my classroom and trying to make sure the students had what they needed, the resources they needed, the materials they needed in order for me to be able to teach them and help them to develop and move to the next level. When I became an administrator, I realized that as an administrator, you have to have a bigger picture, a broader perspective. Yes. You have to think about what's best for all of the students in the building and the staff in the building as well. Mm-hmm. So it helped me to understand just the world of education a little better. Mm-hmm. And it helped me to understand why my former bosses or supervisors, principals that I worked for or with, it helped me to understand why they made the decisions and choices that they made. Mm-hmm. But I also wanted to make sure that I didn't become so far removed from the classroom that I would make decisions that were not realistic.
Correct.
And so that's one thing that I always try to make sure that I remember what it's like to be a teacher, to be in the classroom, to remember what the needs were in order to be an impactful teacher. I can't really say which one I have made the most impact in. I always try to make sure that I am working to my maximum potential in whatever position I hold.
Awesome.
So as a teacher, I feel like I had some great accomplishments and made an impact on a lot of young people. Some of them that I call friend to this day. Social media allows me to keep connected with my former students and them to keep connected with me. And so it just really makes me proud. A lot of them, what they're doing right now. And I mean, I'd like to say that I had a part in watering or even planting the seed.
I mean, one in which, this is a time where we call it Black History Month, in February. And, I remember back in like 2008 to maybe about 10 or 11, where you at North Central High School had a Black History Month club. But it wasn't just, just your normal after school club. You just come and, hey, this is Martin Luther King, he had a dream. No, we actually went on college trips quite frequently. What was that like? Just that preparation, getting everybody together, getting the students excited. What was that experience like?
It was an awesome experience. I was inspired by my Black History Club teacher back at Marion High School, Mrs. Owensby. Everybody knows Miss Owensby.
Shout out.
And so she used to, she had a Black History Club at Marion High School. She's been doing it for 30 plus years. I, to this day, don't know how she continues to do that from year to year, because it is quite stressful trying to put together the plans for the trip or just the plans for the year. What is it that you want the young people to learn about Black history? And then how can we communicate or share what we know about Black history with the school in general, because it's one thing for us to know about our own history, but it's also important for us to share it with other people. And so that was always a challenge, trying to emphasize or help others learn about Black history. People always try to say, well, why does it just have to be Black history? Or, you know what I mean? Or this club is only for people of color or Black children. But it really isn't. And then it's difficult, you know how it is. It's difficult to get people to understand or to see how our history has been left out of the history books.
Well, because again, you've been in education for over 10 years now. Why is it that you feel like it's not been implemented in the history books? I know that some of them have been rewritten. Times have changed, things have been added. Why don't you think that these things have been added? Especially, the Malcolm X and the Black Panthers and, people who have African Americans who've invented great things. How come they have not been added to the history books?
I'm not sure it's intentional. Obviously, the people who write the books feel like they're recording or talking about the things that are most important. So if the people writing the books don't look like us,
correct,
then they don't find our history or our contributions to history as important. And the interesting thing is, it's not a separate history. It is history. It's American history.
Correct.
So
that is true.
I'm not sure why exactly, but I do know for sure that if the story is not told, then it's our obligation to make sure students.
Well, let's talk about the section in this book that you've written. I got a chance to actually read it personally myself. And for anybody, once again, who's listening, again, it's called Position to Prosper. Position to Prosper. There was some stuff that you had written, or material, I should say, that you've written in the book that I did not know. at all, and I've known you probably for about 10 years strong. And I consider you to be a very strong woman, always well put together in every way. And to see some of the pain that you shared in the book was great, in a sense where you never know who you may touch or reach in a different aspect. I never went through exactly what you went through, but it's an eye-opening experience for something that I may have to deal with down the line, and I will. And that is having a child go to college. Now, obviously, the exact story I don't share with you, but I will have children who go to college one day. How was that parts that you would like to share of releasing Brittany?
Well, as you read in the story, it was very difficult. And the reason it was difficult is because, as you already know, I had Brittany at a really young age, 2 days before my sweet 16 birthday. I call her the gift that keeps on giving. She's my sweet 16 gift. And as women often do, we consume our lives, or our lives are consumed with our children. We pour everything that we can in nurturing and bringing up our children, in our careers, in other areas. Like, we are naturally nurturers and givers. And so my life pretty much was consumed with making sure Brittany didn't become a teenage parent. And then also trying to make up for what I thought people viewed as a mistake. So having a child out of wedlock as a teenager. And so it's almost like I felt like I had to redeem myself from that mistake, so to speak. And so when it came time, so that's pretty much everything that I did was for Brittany. My life was consumed with taking her to dance class, to taking her to this program, that program, making sure she had everything that she needed, and that I was setting the best example for her, so that she wouldn't end up, feeling like she needed to, I guess, give herself to a young man because she didn't feel confident in who she was, or because she was looking for something in someone else. So I always tried to make sure I instill confidence in her. I tried to make sure I set a good example as far as getting an education, instill a strong work ethic. So she went to Tennessee State. She wanted to go. Tennessee State University was her first choice. And so I just think that that's how God, gave me the experience. But anyway, so when it came time for her to go, it was my first time really being alone ever. I'm a middle child, so I never grew up alone as a child. When I moved out of my mother's house, Brittany was with me. Like, that was the first time ever me being alone or by myself. But in addition to that, because my life had been so consumed with taking care of Brittany, I never got the opportunity to figure out who I was and what I wanted to do. And so that entire experience, it was time for me to figure out who am I really in Christ. For me to learn how to love myself, for me to learn and figure out what exactly my purpose in life is, and to move forward in that direction.
Hello, my name is Crystal Hines of the Inner Beauty Program, where I'm the founder and president. We have been enriching and inspiring and empowering youth ages 8 to 18 since 2002. Our original purpose of the program is to have girls focus on their inner attributes in a world where the outer appearance is the focal point. We have a dynamic staff of women who are here to provide all types of programming for your young ladies, including life coaching, mentoring, tutoring, boot camps, and special events. Please stay connected with us through our website, myinnerbeautyprogram.org, our Facebook page, Inner Beauty Program Inc., and our mobile app, Inner Beauty. Thank you.
Download New Boy mobile app. Check out our features. Comprehensive homepage. Scheduled events. Real-time notifications. Latest news. Download on App Store and Google Play.
Hello, my name is Sister Ariane Anderson, and I am the Youth Director at Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus. Here at Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus, I have the opportunity to work with children of all ages. We offer so much for our children. They are a highlight of our church. Every Sunday, we offer youth services for our children, and every fourth Sunday of each month, we allow for our children to co-lead our services. Also, our youth nights are powerful. Every fourth Friday at 7 p.m., we come together in unity. During our youth nights, we get to praise, we get to worship, and our children get to fellowship with other children. At Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus, our pastor, Derek and Lady Valerie Miller, are committed to serving our youth. So come out to Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus. It's the place where God is.
Buttons and Bows Nail and Hair Salon welcomes you to our new location at 6233 Allisonville Road, where we service all nationalities. We are a full nail and hair salon. Booth space available. Call 317-362-0323 for more info.
Since 4th grade, Indianapolis Lighthouse College Prep has been my home.
Lighthouse gave me the opportunity to take college classes for dual credits.
Lighthouse allows me to do community service, mentoring younger students.
At Lighthouse, I take classes geared towards a career that I'm interested in.
I'm a Lighthouse Scholar from kindergarten to college.
I am a Lighthouse Scholar from kindergarten to college.
I'm a Lighthouse Scholar graduating this year and on my way to college. Apply at lighthouse-academies.org.
Beach Grove Bible Church. Beach Grove Bible Church. Beach Grove Bible Church. Beach Grove Bible
Church. During the last 5 years, National Heritage Academies ranked in the top 25% of U.S. schools for academic growth.
I'm learning a lot.
We want you to have academic success, but we want you to have emotional success.
They teach me to be a good person.
My children feel very safe.
That's why 92% of our parents recommend us.
We are in the business of producing excellent human beings. That's our legacy to the world.
Hello, everybody. My name is Pastor Aaron Boyd. I'm the pastor at New Vision Lighthouse, and we're located at the corner of 46th and Arlington and Devonton Plaza. We welcome you to come and worship with us every Sunday at 11 a.m. We have midweek Bible study on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Our mission is simply this: to let our light shine in our communities and in our families. You can like us on Facebook, visit us on the web at newvisionlighthouse.com. God bless you. Be careful and be prayerful.
Everybody out there, hey, register to vote. Register to vote. Too many people fought for your right to vote. Register. And then May of 18, come out and remember William Benjamin. Remember William Benjamin. May of 18, we have to vote in the primary. Amp, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for this. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
I just got the best deal on my new guitar at Sam Ash.
I always get advice I can trust.
I got it in time for my gig.
The coolest selection of music and sound gear, always at the guaranteed lowest prices. Sam Ash, the real deal. Get zero interest financing for 24 months with your Sam Ash credit card.
Yeah, because business and professionalism is one thing, and I won't say like you just have it down to a science, but like I always say, like you just have it when it comes to education.
Thank you.
But nobody ever sees, when the gym lights go out, the classroom lights are out, the janitor's working, and the administrators and teachers are at home, what really hits them, in their personal life. And, their story is very much a triumphant story. Your growth, your progress, just personally as a person. When did you know that God was speaking to you to, just to pull you up and to share your story before the book. Maybe it was before the book, because I know you mentioned that you were in a small group with 2 other ladies. I think it was called GIG, correct?
Well, so it was three not young, but they're young. Okay. They're not old. But it was 3 other ladies that I met during this time. So let me just say that in my mind, I thought that when Brittany went off to college, I had a plan that I would spend as much time as I could at work, because I was an administrator at a turnaround school. Yeah. And so there was a lot of work to be done. And so I felt like, okay, this frees me up to, pour myself into this school and help turn it around, which we did. I thought that I was going to, I had this plan, but the plan didn't even end up working. It fell apart, and it was like, wait a minute, this was the plan, but the plan wasn't working. And so
always has a different story written.
Exactly. And so in those times, I grew up in church. Over the years, I have been developing my relationship with Christ. And so, I mean, that's who you turn to whenever things aren't going the way things are supposed to go, or the way you think they go, or your plan's not working. Then, last minute, we want to now go to God for a plan. But thank God I knew to go to God. So things are different now. I go to Him prior to, and I go to Him for His plan for my life now. Amen. But at that time, it's like, okay, wait a minute, God. My plan is not working. And He's like, duh. No. I have some things I need to teach you. And so work was stressful. Everything didn't go the way I wanted it to go. But when I went to God, He made it clear to me that there were some things that He needed to teach me and to develop in me. And then there were some women that He put in my path to help teach me these things, to help me to trust Him, to help me to recognize how His power in bringing about transformation in people, to teach me how to love not only Him but myself and others, and not to be so judgmental. Yes. So there were a lot of things that he taught me during that time, but it's just when things weren't going the way I thought they were going to go, that's when I knew that I needed to take some time to put myself in a position to hear from God.
And I'm glad that you mentioned the judgmental aspect. I think a lot of people, even myself, at one time struggled with that. And it wasn't necessarily, we're just being spiteful or mean, but judgmental can come in a form of when you live your life a certain way, or you were raised a certain way, to be specific, and you get out, as what we say, the real world, and you see people, how they live their lives day to day, and it is a completely eye-opening experience. And then it boils down to, well, what's right, what's wrong, and sometimes it's not even what's right and what's wrong, it's what's your method and what was my method. And seeing how we can mesh these things together. That could be professionally, that could be within dating or being married. It could be within anything, of learning how not to be judgmental in that way. I've seen that you had a portion in the book where you mentioned about the friendship aspect, and you thought that some friends were not necessarily in a bad way, but just not lack of communication. They just put you off to the wayside, and that just wasn't necessarily the case. God has seasonal people and places and things that He wants to put us at. Can you share a little bit about that, a little bit about seasonal friendships and different things like that?
I realized it's not about me. It's not about me. Everybody has their own life and things going on in their lives, and that was too much to be placing on somebody to help me get through that particular time. They have their own things to do, and I took it personally. I'm naturally a giver, and I felt like I always made myself available for everybody. I always give and tried to help people through things, and I felt like those people were supposed to give to me at this time. But that's why you have to give and be there for people with the right motive.
Correct.
So without expecting them to do it back for you.
Everybody will never be like you. I stress that. Everybody will not be like the person to whom you are, or what you would like for them to be.
And not only that, I think that you just have to have the right motive when you're giving to people. Like, it has to be because that's what God is leading you to do. Because sometimes we can give and be there for people and be out of line and be enabling a person in a certain situation. So one thing I learned throughout that entire process is that anytime I'm thinking about, doing anything, I need to make sure that this is what God says He wants to happen. Because sometimes we could go against His will and do things and just, think, obviously He has a way of bringing things around and making things work out for our good.
Absolutely.
But I just want to make sure I'm always operating within His will and not my own.
That's very true. Well, if anybody would like to get a copy of this book, Position to Prosper, where do they go? They go online? Do they come? Is it in a store? Where can they get the book at?
Okay, so I've actually through that process in trying to figure out what my purpose is, I have established a business.
Okay,
it's called Kristy Jones Transformation Consulting.
All right.
So I actually provide life coaching. I'm a certified life coach and a certified human behavior consultant.
Okay.
I received those certifications through Authentic Identity Institute with Coach T, Coach Tamiko Whitaker.
All right.
But that's who managed the book collaboration as well.
Okay.
And so in order to get the book or to get in contact with me, people can go to my website, which is KristyJonesTransforms.org.
.org. All right. Not .com, but .org.
Yes.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Mrs. Kristy. Again, she's the assistant principal here at George Buck Elementary School. So if you're looking for a great school for your child, definitely come check it out here at George Buck Elementary School. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Indianapolis, for tuning in to another edition of Insight Sundays right here on AM 1310 The Light and Facebook Live. Make sure you stay connected with us on all of our social media platforms, which is Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and of course, please remember to download our Insight Sundays mobile app on the App Store and Google Play Store. Again, download our Insight Sundays mobile app on the App Store and Google Play Store, and we will check you guys out next week.
This is a Soul Hit production.